Jim Callis is going to be part of the draft coverage that, of course, we will have this coming Sunday right here on MLB Network. And Jim Callis covering all things draft and the minor leagues and MLB Pipeline joining us now. All right, Jim, the Pirates have the #1 overall pick. What are they going to do?
Well, we don't know. That's the short answer.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, we're done. We're good. We're good. No, but they're playing it cagey like a lot of teams have recently. And it makes sense. You don't want to give the upper hand to the player by tipping your hand who you want to pick. But we're looking at 5 potential guys, still the same top 5. Dylan Cruz would be, I think, the consensus choice for most teams, but you have to sign him. The bonus pools come into play. Paul Skeens, his teammate at LSU, the best pitcher in the draft. He'd be an attractive option. There's some thought they may want to save more money than taking one of the LSU guys and going with somebody like Max Clark, the high school outfielder from Indiana, who would probably be the cheapest of the top 5 guys to sign. Wyatt Langford from Florida wouldn't be as discounted as Max Clark, but he would cost less than Cruz and Skeens. And then you have Walker Jenkins, another high school outfielder. Robert, I keep changing my mind like by the second because we don't know. It's just you're sifting through intel, and it's kind of like what your gut's telling you. Right now, at this very second, if I were doing a mock draft, my gut's telling me it's going to be Paul Skeens of LSU and not Dylan Cruz. But we're honestly probably not going to know until 5 minutes before the draft. So tune into MLB Network and find out.
There you go. Look at Jim being a professional broadcaster there. There's the prospect profile for Paul Skeens. He and Dylan Cruz leading the LSU Tigers to a College World Series just a couple of weeks ago. All right, Jim, so if you got Skeens and Cruz, if they go 1-2, that's the first time we've ever seen that from 2 guys from the same school going 1-2. If that doesn't happen, how far could they fall? Like, what's the lowest you think we could see Skeens and Cruz if it's not 1-2?
Yeah, they're not going to fall very far, and it would be historic. I think Paul Skeens, one of the things I'm probably as sure about as anything right now, and we're still 4 days before the draft, is Paul Skeens is going to the Washington Nationals if he's there at pick #2. So if Skeens doesn't go 1, I think he goes 2. I think the lowest Cruz could possibly fall would be 3. If you had the Pirates cut a deal and not take one of the LSU guys, then I think the Nationals would take Skeens at 2, and I think the Tigers would be overjoyed to get Dylan Cruz at 3 because they'd really like a college bat. So I think at worst, they go 2 and 3, but a good chance, like you said, to be the first guys ever to go 1-2. We've had 2 schools that have produced the 1 and 3 picks. We had back in 1978 Arizona State, Bob Horner, Hubie Brooks, and in 2011 with Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer out of UCLA. But we have a good chance for history on Sunday.
So Jim, give me a player to keep an eye on as we approach the draft here.
Yeah, well, I can't just give you one. I'm going to give you 2, Robert.
Okay.
There's 2 guys who we have ranked just outside the top 50 on our MLB Pipeline Draft 250, who I think could go in the first round. We'll stick with the LSU theme. We'll go with another LSU right-hander, Ty Floyd, whose last start, he struck out 17 guys to tie the 9-inning College World Series record. He might go in the first round. There's only 4 slam dunk pitchers going in the first round out of college. He might be the 5th. He's moving up boards. And then another player, also named Ty, spelled differently, Ty Pete, is a high school shortstop from Georgia. We had him at the Combine. He's got some of the best bat speed in this draft. It's plus speed. It's plus arm strength. You can really dream on this guy. There's a lot of projection, a lot of upside with him. And there's probably 6 or 8 high school shortstops who could go in the first round or the supplemental first round. And Ty Pete is pushing his way into that crowd. So those are probably the 2 names that haven't gotten a lot of first round buzz to this point that we're hearing more about them as we're getting closer to the draft.
Jim Callis, enjoy your time in Seattle. You and I should go check out the Jimi Hendrix Museum while we're there. I've got a free Sunday, so...
I don't know if I have a free Sunday. We'll see if they'll let me off the broadcast for a little bit, and I'll check it out and then come back for the second half of the first day. If I can make it work, Robert, I will. All right. Babyface, Jimi Hendrix, we're all about the music. So,
hey, Lauren, Jim and I together, forget it. Watch out, Seattle.
It's going to be lit.
It's going to be lit, absolutely. And, of course, Jim will be heavily involved in the draft rounds 1 and 2. Coverage beginning right here on MLB Network, 6 o'clock Eastern. At first, I thought we had exclusive coverage. That is not the case. That is not the case. It's another network also
It's a good
involved.
nugget on the
But we've got the best coverage. We've got the best coverage right here.